continuing with our New Year's resolution today, still hunting for the Layton Trophy Cabin, and this time, we are headed to Layton Lakes. When we look at the lower level here, it looks like Hirschfelden is what we're mostly missing, but on the upper level, all the small game, coyotes, mallards, things like that, Layton is where we're actually lacking, so we're gonna head out there today, and see if we can maybe add one of those missing species to the lodge. And for this one, I brought a loadout of all base game weapons, customized to look a little bit different, but we've got the 7mm Empress, we've got the 270 Warden, an all-time favorite of mine, the 243, and for our small game weapon, the Caversham 12 gauge. Anytime we bring loadouts like this, they always present some kind of challenge, and it's always a blast trying to figure out how to work around it. And no doubt one of the maybe less impactful challenges will be trying to take the bigger game on this map, Moose and Roosevelt Elk, with the 7mm. Not so much even a challenge of shot placement or being able to bring the animals down, just adds a little bit of tracking unless we can make a heart shot. So we're going to at least attempt that on this guy, and it's kind of early-ish in elk shrink time. We should get an opportunity to really cover a good bit of elk territory, and that's still one that we're missing. We got that troll on the wall, but a rare or a diamond would look a whole lot better in that spot. But for now, a nice level 4 to get us going. Really significant ivory tines. I don't know if I've ever seen it that much. Doesn't stand out nearly as much in the harvest screen, but 296 scoring gold. And right now we are just up here, north part of Chile, south part of Norden. Gonna check all these lakes if we can, and we'll see what kind of time is left over. Elk drink till 8, so should be able to get at least through all these. Well, that is something we're gonna have to follow, a max weight estimate black bear track. We really don't find many of these on Layton, so we'll see what that leads us to, and hopefully it won't be a terribly long track. What I do know is up here in, these areas around these lakes, there are some bear zones, so I'm thinking he's not terribly far away. Dusky variation and a fresh track, so kind of looking like a straight line. I'm thinking maybe he warped to a zone at some stage, but we can stay on it. We'll kick him out of there eventually. Man, that is a bummer. He's just a level 7. Might be able to get a shot at him because I'm not sure he knows where he's going. If we had a repeating rifle, that would have worked really well because we got him slowed down. We hit him too far forward. Nearly, I think, clutched a neck shot. But if you want to know a really good way to run through a bunch of elk drink time when you're planning on hunting a bunch of elk, go and track a black bear for way longer than you intend to. Add on top of that, following the thing around forever after hitting it, and it is nearly the end of elk drink time, so that's a bummer. 21.23 score, and if we were, literally, an inch higher or an inch further right, it's either an insta-drop or a pretty quick kill. 2.25 kilometer track distance for what ends up being a silver bear, but we have to go after it because you never know when we're going to run across that max estimate track. So the good news is, we did get close enough to this lake to check it for elk. I guess we'll get down to here and then maybe we can scoot through Chile. We're going to have to hope they're kind of hanging around their zones late, but kind of the way it goes. We can't just let a max estimate bear go without at least seeing what it is. So, interestingly enough, I think we're going to try to get this shot before I explain this because we're at the very end of elk drink time. I'm going to try the 270 just to kind of see. The first elk I ever shot in Hunter Call of the Wild way back in, I guess that would be early 2017. I tried to shoot it with the 270 soft points, and I can tell you for sure, it did not bring it down. So we'll see if that shot does a little bit better. But I got this guy's track basically resting up here by the lake we were going to, and it turns out he was down here by the lake that I said we already had checked. Not really sure where he was, how we didn't see him, but we saw there no hunting pressure just yet, and I don't necessarily know that that is indicative of a poor shot. My guess is the 270 is kind of just so underpowered, it wouldn't have brought him down yet, and we can see Vital Blood. It'll be a lengthy track, but little fun story behind that one and a reason to use the 270. And I suppose not a bad way to kind of close out elk drink time. 326 for him. Nothing too crazy, but 270 did a fine job. Punched straight through that right lung. Still had to track him over a kilometer, almost nearly a kilometer and a half, going all the way back to where we initially got his track. But at this stage, we get into whitetail drink time, and that is a species that really we're not as worried about. We could upgrade. The diamond that we have on the wall is kind of the mid-size rack, so we'll be checking for those sorts of things, but we'll try to make the most of the opportunity and kind of hunt all around the map, maybe see if we can stumble into another heavy track, and maybe this time it'll have a different result. So I've kind of been waiting for an opportunity to use the 243 in this loadout. At some stage in this hunt, I want to make sure we use everything, because we did set out specifically with the old base game kind of meta loadout. With none of these coyotes being even remotely decent, we'll take that 4. And frankly, this has been kind of a strange hunt on Layton. Maybe it is the fact that instead of hunting during whitetail drink time, we tried to go and look for other things, but we just weren't finding much of anything. So I actually changed to a server that had said that it was 1900. I thought, hey, let's go and try to hunt black bear in their drink zone. But by the time we got here, it's actually 7 a.m. and elk drink time again. So we're gonna see, maybe we can find elk in other areas, and then we'll be right back around to whitetail drink time and trying to figure out what to do. And we've got no shortage of bull elk. There's a whole ton of them up here. None really all that special. There was a coyote warning call. Maybe that guy there most likely. And sad to say, I think we're actually going to try to get that. It's a 6 this time. If we can get this lined up a little better, can just roll him. I kind of think there may have been another one though, so we're going to keep eyes out. I had a 21 to 24 kilo track that had fled and then got the warning call, so I would kind of think there should have been another one around, but we are way up here, actually, ironically enough, where we shot the 1000 coyote all the way back in the day. That would have been, he was standing not too far from where we rolled that thing. And just kind of trying to switch it up, and at least in terms of finding stuff, it sure worked. But as for this guy, at least we got a gold coyote here, 50.73, double lunged him, almost got him in the heart. And, you know, a lot of times people ask what my favorite map is, and I always say Layton. There's not another map in the game where I can remember a hunt from 5-6 years ago and tell you almost exactly where the animal was standing. That 1000 coyote was like right here, I think. I know it came around the edge of this lake, up on this hill, and we shot it around 80 meters out with the 243. That's the kind of stuff that I love about Layton Lakes. It's just the names of the areas and stuff, everything just feels so much like a real map. That those sorts of things, like down to within a couple of meters, I can remember those specific details. It's just really cool. That might be a little something. Looks like a level 2 whitetail that has a shot at it. Even though that one's estimate is better, and he's maybe a 230. This one is at least, I'm going to say, like a low 250s, high 240s. Maybe a chance at cracking that 255. It's tough to tell, especially for the level 2s. It basically all comes down to width, and especially with the doe standing in the way, I can't really get a good gauge there. He might just have enough. He goes up to 265, which is good. And I was going to say, you know what we can do, though? I was going to say we'll use the 22 to alert him, because I want to use the 270. Problem is, we cannot use a 22 that we're not carrying. What we can do is, because we're this far away, we can actually shoot in the air. That will only alert them. And we should be able to, if we just don't do whatever we just did, get a shot in, hopefully. What the heck? How did we drop him? We got between those other two deer? There's a chance that was spinal cord. I don't feel like it should have been. I think it's going to dip into a lung, maybe neck. Let's go and see. Oh, and an albino moose just comes running out, I guess. It's just a cow. But we may have legitimately never known that happened. I was going to go running down that way to go claim it, and I realized it's quicker to go back around where this albino's crossing, and it just came running out wide open for us. That is not a thing that I can even wrap my head around. That was ridiculous. Okay, I kind of want to use the 270 again and try to get a heart shot. Let's, I want that spotting info to go away. We could just use the binoculars to get a range on it, but we're going to need the gun anyway. Okay, we're looking at close to 75. Got it alert. The only thing is we can't really see the vitals at all. Almost let her sneak past us. She's still alerted. So if we can just get her to stand still and maybe face us. I want to try to get that 270 heart shot. I think, I don't know if we can get a shot in there. Hit her, that should be a heart shot, and it is. That has to be, we talk about dumb luck all the time. That's like top 10 dumb luck moments we've ever had. Legit, if we just continued running around to go claim that whitetail. Clearly she was heading this way. It's not like she'd have stopped in the open. She'd have just crossed, and we'd have never known it existed. Hard shot with the 270. So much looking back at like old things we used to do in Call of the Wild today. But that was something we actually did a fair bit, was make those frontal hard shots with the 270, because depending on loadouts, sometimes that was our best bet. Back when quick kill mattered, you had to be able to hit the heart. I still can't believe that thing just came crossing and we happened to turn around and go that way instead. And I'm not sure what we're going to do with it. Obviously, we've got the full body mount taken care of with the Diamond Rocky Mountain Elk, and we do have a Diamond Moose on the wall already, but maybe it'll go somewhere else, and at the very least, maybe an honorary Layton Trophy Cabin edition that doesn't actually reside there. And then as for our buck, it's gonna kind of be funnier if this isn't a diamond, because then just getting it led to the albino moose instead. But if it ends up being a diamond, that'd be pretty wild to have two 270 drop shots, by the way, in the same area. Now, the blood is vital blood, so whatever we hit was good. That's a diamond whitetail that we just hard shot with the 270 between two other deer, turned around and shot an albino moose in the heart. I don't know. I got nothing. That is one of the wilder things I've ever had happen. Also, pretty crazy winter weather today, and our power just flickered, so I'm gonna end this recording so that you guys can actually watch it and not have it get corrupted. Anyway, now that that's officially saved and we are good, that was nuts. I don't think either of those things actually end up in the Layton Trophy Cabin, because we were going to do a Huddle Whitetail mount until we got the Diamond Rocky Mountain Elk. Now, you know, another maybe second Trophy Lodge edition that's sort of an honorary Layton Trophy Cabin one. That's, I mean, back-to-back shots of the 270, hard shots, essentially drop shots. Obviously, moose run a little bit with a hard shot. And two trophies from Layton Lakes. That was really, really cool. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how we topped that. That was so ridiculous. But I wanted to make sure we used the 12 gauge. I was hoping maybe one of those rabbits would run out. There we go. Or we could get a second shot. Although it's apparently heading for the water. Fell a little bit short on that one. I think they were all females. Luckily, they don't run all that fast. I don't know why we can't. There we go. Just had to get a little bit closer to be able to see. And before she goes over the hill, we'll take one additional kill. And we're going to have to go back to the second lodge with those couple of trophies. That was one of the wildest sequences we've ever had. Now, at some point, I'm sure we had something different on this plaque, and no doubt I probably took it off there to make a thumbnail, and I couldn't even tell you what it may have been. But for now, the albino moose from today is going to go on that spot, only because of the direct connection to the diamond whitetail that I guess we'll add right here, because we have another empty spot there, so it can kind of overlook our three melanistics here. Pretty darn cool. That was a really kind of strange sequence on Layton Lakes. Went a long time without killing much of anything, and then all of a sudden, diamond whitetail, albino moose, back-to-back kills, and we wouldn't have had the albino without the diamond whitetail happening to be right there. Just crazy stuff on Layton Lakes. Didn't get to go any further in terms of actually completing the Layton Trophy Cabin for our New Year's resolution, but if we get hunts like that while we're working on it, I will absolutely take it. So anyway, that'll do it for this video. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.